Hello.
So there'll be one shape we go into that requires some sort of support, like a block or a bolster, a supported bridge. So we're going to need something that you can place under your sacrum to keep it elevated without you having to use muscular engagement to keep it elevated. So maybe that's a block, bolster, cushion, phone books. Does anybody have phone books anymore? And I don't know, maybe you like a strap. Maybe you like aromatherapy. When I do this type of practice, I like to use a little vetiver oil. It's for me, it's something about the aroma just kind of takes me where I need to go. Frankincense is another nice one for calming. Lavender, that's a good one. We have Mary. Hello, Mary. Hi, Kiki. I don't know if we've met, but I'm really glad you're here. Hey, Rhonda. Who is iPhone XS Max? Can you hear me? I just need you to provide a name and identity for me. Hello, Marina.
Hello, this is, yeah, I'd say part, it's Marina, yeah. Hi.
See, I recognize you. It's a different account that says iPhone XS Max.
I have no idea what's going on with this. It's the same iPad. I don't know why it says.
Okay, well, just iPhone, if you can hear me, please type a name in or provide me with a name. These Zoom deals have gotten pretty secure. I haven't had anything funky happen in quite a while, but it is for everybody's security. I just need to know that you're an actual person. If I can't identify you, unfortunately, I'll have to move you to waiting room. So if you could give me a name, if you're there. Hey, Michelle, Nina, Sarah, hello. Somebody else just popped in. It's Keisha. Hi, Keisha. Let's give a couple more minutes. I think we have a few more people going to be arriving. As I mentioned earlier, bolster, block, that sort of thing. You're probably going to want one of those for at least one of the poses. Oh, well, okay, they left. Bye. I hope everybody is having a nice evening, or I don't know, it might be morning where you're at. Two more minutes and we will get going. Dos más. Oh no, okay, we got some. That is such a nice aroma. Hey, Ethel, welcome. Glad you're here. All right. So if you have not already done so, if you would set your view to speaker view, please. Can everybody hear me? Just hold your hand up if you can hear me. All right. And good. Now with speaker view, that just kind of provides some privacy. Now that that's set, those with your cameras off, you're certainly welcome to have them off, but I have this set up in a manner to where everybody should really just be pretty much seeing me. So I like for your camera to be on, that way I can it helps me to guide you through the practice, but I also understand desire for privacy, so it is not a deal breaker. You can leave it off, but if you're cool with it, understand you will have your privacy if it is on. All right. Please make sure you have a block or bolster or something that you can elevate your sacrum in, supported bridge, whether it be books, whatever you use for that sort of prop. Let's start out in a seated pose. Sukasana is nice. Nice crisscross applesauce. Siddhasana, one of my favorites. Just tuck a heel in towards the groin. Stack the other ankle on top of that ankle. Let the knees fall open. That's kind of nice. Some folks like to sit on their shins. You can do that. That's cool. Just something grounded. Well, last week I offered you a fundamental meditation practice. Pretty simple. Something to practice, to play with, do a little homework, investigate. So I'm going to give you another technique this week. And again, it's very simple, very basic. With meditation overall, we find it is a strategic practice, long-term, over a period of time, slow changes. But it can be used in a tactical manner as well. There's techniques that we can use for the right here and now. We may notice repetitive behavior patterns, repetitive compulsive thought patterns. We may find ourselves in a stressful situation, heavy traffic, long grocery line, somebody's counting coupons. You know the situation I'm talking about. We have technique we can use for those sort of things. We find repetitive thought, or perhaps again a behavior pattern, going for the ice cream when there's no need to go for the ice cream. So what I call this, I learned from a guy named David G. It's called pattern interrupt. And it's just designed to break the pattern, to provide an interruption, create a little space so that you can observe the thought, the action. You can observe from a distance without attachment. So in seated position, just get your spine erect. Shoulders are up over hips, ears are up over shoulders. Slight tuck of the chin will give a little more spine length right up there at your neck. Place your palms on your thighs, kind of grounding. And now just close your eyes, if that's okay. Just let your eyes close. And just breathing natural for a moment, I would like you to find a point in your day, today or yesterday, a recent occurrence where expectations did not, or where circumstances did not meet your expectations. Somebody did something that you didn't like. Some place did not meet what you thought it should meet. Something may have offended. Don't spend too much time on it. This isn't therapy. Just get a vision of it. Good. without holding on to it, just look at it. I'm going to provide a count for your inhales, your pauses, your exhales. So just take a deep breath in. Exhale it all out. Now just through the nose. So inhale, breathe in for 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. 3, 2, 1. Pause. 3, 2, 1. Big breath in. Full inhale. Open your mouth and sigh it out. Ah. Let's do that one more time. Big breath in. Just open your mouth and sigh it out. Ah. Yeah. So 4 counts of breath for 4 parts of breath. It's about 16 seconds. We did 2 cycles. That took 32 seconds. Ideally, in that 32 seconds, you were able to find a little distance from what I asked you to look at the beginning of the exercise. Now, throughout our practice tonight, I'll remind you to do a little pattern interrupt, to practice it while we're in deep stretch. And then again, homework, just like last week, homework. Don't worry, I'm not going to grade it. Throughout the week, practice, pattern interrupt. When the stuff happens, traffic, somebody cuts us off, or the kids, how about that one? The kids, they say, hey, no, mom, I'm not doing that. Just a quick pattern interrupt. Just maybe journal on it or something and just take notice of what impact that may or may not have on your vicissitudes, your challenges, your situations. Let's get into some sensation here. Come to your feet at the top of your mat, just standing at the top of your mat. Just ground into your feet. They may be a little wider than normal. How about shoulders width with your feet? We'll have our knees up over our ankles and our hips up over our knees and our shoulders up over our hips. It's nice and erect, long, tall. Turn your palms forward. Kind of rolls the shoulders back. Slight tuck of the chin, lengthens your neck. And just let the fingertips reach down as the crown of your skull reaches up. Stay with your breath. Now maybe a slight bend in your knees. Let it exhale. Fold you forward. Just fold until the backs of your legs say stop. Just fold on in. And once you get there, take a hold of your elbows. And over the next few breaths, perhaps the hamstrings will release and the knees will straighten a little, or maybe not. So just hang right here in what Yin is called dangling pose. And here you go, your first opportunity to practice tactical breathing, pattern interrupt. We're only going to be in each pose for about 2 minutes. And that's not a long time, so please indulge. Get what you can. Now, how do we do that? We find the edge, the place between too much and not enough. Using exhales, we can soften around that edge. And then just using time and stillness, we let the yin medicine take effect. Single point of focus on breath, awareness of sensation. And there'll be these moments where you get the desire to fidget, look around, move. I wonder, can we just observe that emotion without responding, reacting to it? Can we remain still? Now with your feet, again, about shoulders width, turn your toes out a little bit, like maybe about 45-ish degrees. Heels come in a little bit. Bending your knees, just start bringing your butt down, down, down into a squat. Elbows inside of your knees, palms together, thumbs at your heart. Just a little squat. And if your heels pop up off the floor, that's okay. It happens. Don't worry about it. Just squat. Let your spine come up erect. Tailbone's going to kick out just a little bit. Take a breath. Now exhale, put your hands down by your hips and sit down on the mat. Come all the way to your back. With your knees bent, your feet flat on the mat, reach over, take a hold of your block or your bolster, and just press into your feet. Lift your sacrum, your pelvis, lift it up off the mat. And then slide block underneath. You've got 3 height options to choose from. Pick the one for you. And then just settle the back of your sacrum against that prop. You can lay your arms out to the side, palms up. That's kind of nice. You can interlace your fingers and reach knuckles towards heels. It's up to you what you do with your hands, but let's keep it still and just make it sweet, sensual. Bring the sensation into your body. You found your edge, now just soften around it. And now just eliminate any unnecessary movements. While you're with that tactical breathing, we're just going to explore the spine tonight. So how about right now, practice visualizing each vertebrae of your spine. Mind's eye, just look at each vertebrae, each backbone. Notice the spaces between each one. Notice the size, the shape. Visualize right now the alignment of your spine. Where's the curves at? Where's the lengthening at? all while maintaining the same quality of breath. Just like you went in, you come on out, pushing the feet, raise your pelvis a little bit, remove your block, settle your back flat on the mat. Extend your legs out. We're going to make banana shape with our body. So starting with your feet, move your feet, your legs towards the left side of the room. And notice how your right hip wants to raise up. Just keep it settled. Now reach your arms overhead like biceps to ears and start moving arms, hands, upper torso towards left side of the room. And it may be appropriate for a little more to cross right ankle over left ankle, but let's not do it at the expense of a settled, even pelvis. With arms overhead, sometimes we might notice a bit of an electrical sensation or a numbing sensation. That's an indication to maybe bend elbows, maybe move your arms, take them out. But if they're okay extended, you leave them there. But again, just watch the sensation. I mean, why do something if it feels wrong? If it feels wrong, just adjust. Make a little change. As you stay with that even breath, 4 count inhale, 4 count hold, 4 count exhale, 4 count pause. Run your mind's eye over your spinal column. See the spaces on the right side of the vertebrae open. See the spaces on the left side of the vertebrae closing. And I wonder, can you just direct those inhales right into those openings on the right side of your spine? Just watch breath go right to them. And as you pause, the breath, the prana swirls around those spaces. As you breathe out, the breath just takes out any rust and dust you might have had in those spaces. Come back center and bring your arms down your sides just for a minute and just stay even, center, lengthen. And then we just go to other sides. Start with your feet, your legs. Move them over towards right side of the room. And bring arms overhead. You know you can bend your elbows and hold on to them instead of extending them. So let's take upper torso towards right side of the room. Now, did anybody's left hip sort of lift up off the ground a little bit? Just back off enough to bring your pelvis back down even. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Ooh, and just slip on into the left side of your body there. Left spine, left ribs. Now, it's no big surprise. We usually find that about 90 seconds, we become a little distracted, maybe a little boredom, a little agitation. And it just so happens that in 90 seconds, we're no longer stretching muscles, but we're stretching what's extracellular matrix. That's ligaments, tendons, fascia, the sheath of your muscles, the coatings of your bones. Yeah, we're stretching bones, cellular walls. About the time we phase shift into touching those parts of our anatomy, the mind gets bothered. And it presents a little boredom, or a little irritation, or a little wandering. This is your opportunity to just stare at that. Just observe it, look at it, with innocent curiosity, but not with bias, judgment, frustration. Just look at it. Just like everything, it's temporary, it passes until it comes back. And then it passes again until it returns. Now come right back center line with legs, with torso. Bring arms down by your side. Just a couple breaths right here. Just still. Feel the stretching just kind of washing over your body right now as you're still neutral position. That sensation is the prana, the intelligence of your body, just flowing through that extracellular matrix you just conditioned through a nice gentle touch. Come on up to seated. You know, nothing aggressive, just no hurries, no worries. Come on up to your seat. And bring your left heel under your right leg and set it by your outer right hip. Take the sole of your right foot, set it on the mat outside of your left thigh. Place your right hand back on the mat behind your butt. Hook your left elbow around the front of your right shin. Just start to twist to the right a little bit. Just open your torso to the right. A couple exhales just slide you into it until you find your edge. And notice now a little muscular engagement in the arms, but everything else is pretty soft. Not doing any working, not doing any gripping, not doing any holding on. So we've learned that we can observe the withdrawal symptoms that our mind presents. It gets a little bored, it gets a little agitated. We're pulling it away from its greatest addiction. You know, the drama, the repeated thoughts. They're so much more interesting. But we learn through practice that we can just observe that without buying into it. And it's almost like we start to realize, whoa, I am not my thoughts. My thoughts are just a phenomenon, a production of ego. Eckhart Tolle defines ego, mind-made false sense of self. Stay with the breath. 4 counts in, 4 counts pause, 4 counts out, 4 counts pause. With no hurries, with no worries, just unwind, and we're just going to switch it around. Just unwind your legs, and we'll bring right heel over to outer left hip, and set the sole of left foot outside of right thigh. Place left hand around behind you. Just press the palm in the mat. Hook your right elbow around your shin. Oh, the twist love exhale, so just let your exhale twist you. Once you find your edge, just see to it that it's only arms with any kind of muscular activity. Everything else is soft, surrendering, letting go. So at some point, we really do become convinced that we are not our thoughts, we are not our emotions. It's only natural that the question arises, well, who am I? I mean, my identity. Who am I? If I'm not my thoughts, if I remove my name, my occupation, hobbies, social roles, past victories, past defeats, remove all that, who am I? What an interesting question. It's certainly a question that can be asked with innocent curiosity, without fear, without bias, but genuine innocent curiosity like a child. Who am I? Just go ahead, unwind, come back center with your chest. Just set your bent knees about shoulders width, feet about mat width, just the edge of the mat. Lean back on both hands and just drop your knees left and right a couple times. Nice wide knees, just windshield wiper. It's just another type of rebound. Instead of sitting still, we're just using a couple movements to let the prana, the energy, the chi, the spirit, just let it move. Yeah. Move. Now bring the soles of your feet together. Heels are going to be like a good distance away from your groin. Make a diamond shape with your legs. With palms up, slide your right forearm under your right shin, your left forearm under your left shin. Bringing inside elbows to the back of your calves. And over that 4-count inhale, bring your breastbone and your chin and your nose straight forward. Lengthen out your spine. Pause. Over your 4-count exhale, just little bicep strength. Pull forward, forward, forward. At the very end of your exhale, just drop your head. Maybe the crown of your skull goes to the insides of your feet. Maybe it doesn't. Your edge is very personal. Find that place. Too much, not enough. No, just right, right in between. So the only thing engaging is going to be biceps. Everything else is soft. Just releasing. Back is rounding. Feeling something. Low back, kidney area, glute area. The chin a little tucked, back and neck is nice and long. So just visualize what the spine looks like right now. Don't need mirror. You have mind's eye. And it only makes sense if we're questioning, who am I? Well, gosh, the next question would, I think you would agree, would be, what am I doing? What is my purpose? What is my dharma? It's a fair question. Certainly not a question to grind on, be alarmed about, to fret over, but just to have a little innocent curiosity. You know, Rumi said this thing about fear. Fear is non-acceptance of the uncertain. But once we accept it, it becomes adventure. So just ask, with an innocent curiosity, who am I? What's my purpose? Yeah, take come on back up, nice and smooth, easy, with no unnecessary extra movement. You can keep your legs wetted just like they are. Place your palms on the mat behind you. Roll your shoulders back, lean into your hands, and just lift your breastbone forward. Nothing too extreme, just a slight back bend. Yeah, now come on now. You come right around to your belly. It don't matter which edge of the mat you face, just come on down to your belly. Or the Sphinx Pose. If you're not familiar, tops of your feet touch the mat. You put your elbows on the mat right below your shoulders with your chest lifted and pulling forward of it. From here, you can grab each elbow. And if that's a little too much, just walk your elbows forward beyond your shoulders. And if that's not enough, you just put a block underneath your forearms. Now, if you take an honest look across your body, it might be a fair bet that the glutes are a little clenched. So just let go. Just let them soften. With just a little bit of muscular engagement, push in the forearms and pull your breastbone forward and let that curve evenly distribute along your spine. Watch from tailbone to brainstem. You can drop your head or you can look straight forward, whatever your neck feels appropriate with. What a wonderful opportunity to just stay with breath, be aware of the sensation, and practice the subtle art of surrender, letting go. Maybe letting go to a degree where we kind of just sort of set aside all that stuff we think we know, or what we think we know about ourselves, our practice, yoga teacher, or what we think we know about the body. Surrender to such a degree that we are now open to new experience. Who am I? What is my purpose? And just take your time. Come on down to your chest. Let it come down. Just place your palms on the mat. Make a pillow with the back of your hands. Drop your right cheek down to that pillow you just made with your hands. So your face is looking over to the left side of the room. Draw your right knee, your bent right knee up the side, just like tree pose, but on your belly. Yeah. Ooh, Now just let that wash across your back. Isn't that nice, right? So that type of back bend is going to touch kidneys. Sometimes we can get such a degree of touch that the kidneys will release a little adrenaline. You may have experienced a slight sensation, kind of like the climax at the top of that first roller coaster hill, that unique feeling. Indulge, enjoy it. And if you didn't get it that one, maybe this next one you will. So go ahead and take your right leg straight back along your left leg again. And one more time, come up on elbows. Up into that Sphinx pose. But this time, just hang out with your forearms parallel rather than grabbing your elbows. Just, again, dig in the palms a little bit. Pull your breastbone forward. Roll your shoulder blades back. Yeah, there it is. You can hang out right here. This might be enough if you feel you got the space. Rotate forearms out like a Y, so your fingers are kind of out towards the front corners of your mat. Rotate wrists so fingers are kind of pointing away from each other, thumbs almost pointing forward. Then just press in the palms, straighten your arms, straight elbows, straight arms, and just come on up into what we call seal pose. Oh. Just breathe. Only if it's appropriate. If that's a little much, come on back down. But if it's all right, you're digging it, we'll just dwell in it for a little bit. Yeah. And you can tuck your chin, you can look forward, you can look up. What is your neck asking for? Just go ahead and let it have what it asks for. You're probably noticing that the shoulders are engaged. That's okay. Maybe a little tricep engagement, a little bit of forearm and hand. Everything else just soft. It's just melting. Maybe you feel that touch across kidneys. Yeah, that's about enough of that. Your next exhale, come back down to your chest, make pillow with your hands, and put your left cheek on the back of your hands. Draw your left knee up the side of your body like tree pose. Pull. Maybe this time around it was the rebound was a little more dynamic. Bring your left leg down straight alongside of your right leg. Stay down where we're at on the mat, but roll to your right side leg. I mean, stack your left hip over your right hip, your left shoulder over your right shoulder, and your forearm is like 90 degrees to your torso. Elbow is on the mat. Take your left foot, put the sole of your left foot on the mat in front of your right thigh. You can just put your left hand on your left knee if you like, but feel bottom left ribs almost touching top of left hip crest. Bottom right ribs moving far away from top of right hip crest. Some folks like to take little dhyana mudra here. Make the oval with your hands and thumbs. If you know the mudra, that's cool. Just spend a few minutes in a little more dynamic side bend than before. You may find your right shoulder creeping towards your right ear hole. But there's just enough engagement to remove the shrug. That's really about all the work we're finding is a little shoulder muscularity. Remember that breathing technique, that tactical breathing. Watch that breath come in. Time stops at that pause as the breath swirls around inside. And then the exhale just releases. Adios is the stuff we no longer need. Just let it go. Adios. We've observed thoughts. We've observed emotions, sensations. We start to discover that they are not our identity. They're just part of the thing that we do. We've asked a couple questions. And we spent some time surrendering, letting go, making room for subtle suggestions. Come on back down to your belly, just no rush. Maybe one breath here. And then exhale right on up to left side. Right hip up over left hip. Right shoulder up over left shoulder. Propped up on left elbow. Bring the sole of your right foot to the mat, just over in front of your left thigh there. Yeah? And just let the body bend. Bottom right rib is just damn near going to touch the top of my right hip crest, almost. Bottom left rib is mucho distance from top of left hip crest. My mind's eye can see the left side of the vertebral body. The space is wide. The right side, the space is narrow. My breath enters the space, gathers the dust, the rust, and the cobwebs. And my breath carries that stuff right on out of me. As I breathe, as I observe, as I ask a couple questions. See, isn't that interesting? Still, phase shift of body brings about a little bit of fluctuation of mind. But now I know how to stay calm, non-reactive. Yoga chitta vritta nirodha. Come back to your belly, please. Nice and easy. Yeah, very nice. And it does not matter which end of the mat your head is at, just roll directly to your back. Nice and easy. Ooh. So, with arms out wide like wings, palms up, or maybe elbows bent like Arizona saguaro cactus. Bring your knees above your hips and your shins parallel to the earth, kind of like you have your legs resting on a park bench. Yeah. Let your next exhale drop both knees to the left. Just keep the right shoulder planted. Just let the exhale soften you on into this nice, sweet twist. You can turn your eyes to the right, your face to the right to involve the uppermost part of your spine, the neck. But only if it's appropriate, only if the neck allows. We've surrendered and made a little room for new experience, open to suggestions. Where the heck do the suggestions come from? My yoga teacher tells me that I am my teacher. What the heck does that mean? Well, as we watch the spaces in our body, as we observe the thoughts, we discover, wow, thoughts have little gaps, interstices, spaces between them. I've become so quiet and so still, I see spaces between those thoughts that I am not. I wonder what's in those spaces. Can I get so quiet, so still, and maybe I hear something that I never before Let your next inhale bring knees right back up on park bench. Pause at the top. And the exhale drops the knees over to the right. Turn neck to the left if you like. Neck kind of lets you know what it's going to do. Next few exhales, just melting you into the edge, just melting around it, softening. And then time and stillness, bringing you ever closer to the phase shift, touching cellular walls, touching bone coat, fascia, ligaments, tendons. The places where the nadis are found, the channels through which runs intelligence of the body. Part of me where my true identity lies, where it dwells. The true identity that slips into the spaces, the gap, the stillness. The true identity that recognizes I am you, you are me. The air you exhale is the air I breathe in. And in this manner, we are all one in the light. Your next inhale brings your knees right up above you. But this time, hug yourself. Hug knees in. Any last final little gentle movements, little bends, little twists, little rolls, slight, gentle, just any part of that spine that you did not touch. Yeah. And then final pose, just extend your legs out, but wide. Open your arms out to the sides, wide like wings. Make a 5-point star out of your body. This is an alternative Shavasana called pentacle in Yin tradition. Star pose in our more active tradition. Now stand. just as long as you like. Here, just like this. Becoming still, quiet. Perhaps noticing pause and breath, synchronizing with gap and thought. Or maybe you find yourself slipping right into that gap. Pray you do. I offer to each of my gratitude and my love.